Right. Okay. Hello and welcome to our first podcast. This is called Campfire Talk. This is the podcast of digital media, the digital media program at Salford University. My name is Juan Hiriart. I am the program leader of this digital media, and with me is Will Pickford. He's the final year student from this course. Hi, Will.
Hello, lovely to be here. Love to be a part of this.
Yeah, well, this is called Campfire Talks because we are pretending that we are doing camping in a very nice place. So that's why, as you see, we are not in lockdown. We are not in the university. We are in a nice place. We just light the fire after like a big walk, and we're having a nice conversation, right? That's
nice warmth for the fire. Nice and homely even. It's nice.
Yeah. Exactly. So, how are you doing, Will?
I'm very good, thank you. Well, I'm very, very good. Very busy, but very good. Well, that's just life at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you. I mean, I wanted to go back with you like three years ago in time and ask you why you decided to study digital media. Why not being a lawyer, or I don't know. I mean, why?
It's a good question. I mean, first of all, not got the smarts to be a lawyer as such, but the reason why I went for digital media was more because of the relationship I had with technology. Now, I didn't have the best relationship with learning until technology came along and before I started, getting into technology. Now, I wasn't a designer at heart. I hadn't done design before when I was at sixth form. I was more of a business mindset, but when I was looking at the university options, there was marketing and then there was digital, and the good thing about digital media was there was a nice balance in it. It had these long-term aspects of creative technologies and real innovations and things like that. But at the start, you get the basics of design, and I just felt it was the perfect mix for someone who wanted to go into design. I didn't know I wanted to be where I am today or where I'm going, but it's just putting yourself out there, and I think it just kind of matched my personality. My sister's a very creative person. I took a lot of influence from her, and I always used to like the stuff that she did. So I thought maybe I should try that route and go down it.
So it was a bit like a program that seemed to bring together different things that you were interested in.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Because I mean, in our course, there's more than just creative technologies. Even it's how you're applying them. Even so, it just kind of brought all the things I wanted together into one thing. But
Well, and now that you're finishing your program, do you have a clear idea of what this digital media world is?
I don't. I honestly, it's just ever growing. I don't think anyone could tell you where it's going to be in the next 10 years. We can tell you where it is now.
Yeah.
But I don't. At the start, I could never have told you that I'd even have done the things that I did do, or I have done, or I will be doing. I'm not sure where I'll even go after this. If I'm honest, I've got a job lined up, but I want to keep broadening my horizons, and I want to explore different things as well. So digital media it's a very broad thing, but I definitely have a much more solid understanding of it now. I'm at university, and now I've been through the course.
Brilliant. Well, so you mentioned that you got a job. So yeah, that's a good story. How that happened?
Well, I mean, given the current circumstances with the unemployment rates after university, I've had it in my head. As soon as I went to university, it was in the back of my mind. I really didn't want to be fighting for jobs. I want to be ahead of the curve, if anything. So I went for a job early. So I didn't particularly push myself for a job at first, but it was more the experience. I wanted to understand the workplace and the processes, and more to find what I actually do want to do myself. So I pushed out. I think it was Christmas in second year, and I was pushing for work experience. And I went for a job at Stein IS, which is a business-to-business marketing agency. and I was just looking for a bit of work experience in the summer, but due to COVID, because given our current circumstances, that wasn't possible. So it knocked it on. But this is the good thing about the course that we're on. We were able to accommodate that in the course. So coming into third year, I was able to bring the relationship with my work into my relationship with university, and it really worked together. And
that was such an experience. You were working for one semester doing a brief for them, so that in a way that gave you the opportunity to be in contact with a professional environment for months, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that opportunity was it was the opportunity that I got to build relationships and even prove to them, my mindset and my passion. And I think that's one of the main reasons why they wanted to bring me on board. And I'd say that about to anybody that's listening that wants to go for these things. I'd say push yourself and just show your characteristics, because that's what they're buying into. Really, they're not bringing you into the company just because you're good at design. I wouldn't say I'm good at design. I'd say I've got the right mentality and the right attitude. It's how you approach these things, and they can see that I'm obviously willing to learn. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I mean, one of the things that I always mention from this is that you weren't looking into finishing your degree, right? You were looking beyond your degree. You were in second year, you were like thinking on what's coming afterwards, and you started planning from there, right?
Exactly. I mean, this is the thing in a lot of things in life. You should always plan ahead. You should always look to your future. Like, there's got to be a purpose for going to uni. You're not going to uni to get a degree. Some people do, but personally, to me, I don't feel that a degree is that valuable on its own. It's more what you take with it. It's where you want to apply that degree, and it's actually what you're going to take from your degree and apply.
Absolutely. And can you tell us a bit how is your work? What do you do in your work at this point?
So currently, I mean, I'll talk you through uni and how it's developed. So through the first year, it was the basics and the key elements of design. So we did a lot of basic design work, logo design. We were approaching briefs and doing posters. But then through second year, we started looking into how you bring it together through campaigns and how you bring in these creative technologies and how they apply in the bigger picture. And then now we've started, and me especially, have started looking at technologies like virtual reality and augmented reality, but it's not just that. It's more, like I've said previously, it's how you apply in them. And that's a good thing about our university course. You are applying a lot of these things to similar to real world situations.
Right. I like to show. I mean, I know that you did a presentation yesterday where you were working with a team looking into virtual reality, and I found that your presentation was quite cool, and I would like to show that, and maybe we can discuss it. Is that okay?
Right, of course, throw it up there.
Let's see if I can make this work. Okay. Looking here into your presentation that you did in a virtual reality environment, right?
Yep.
So what is going on here?
So this is a space which we've created for, the purpose is for a digital exhibition for a photography course. But we've used technologies such as Blender, Unity, and it's hosted on AltSpace. So through this, we've wanted to showcase people's work, but we've also wanted to allow these students to create the experiences that they would in a real exhibition, because a real exhibition, they use mood lighting and, they use props such as like logs and all sorts, but you can't always, I feel it's slightly untouched to use this in virtual reality at the moment. So we wanted to explore these technologies and see how you could create these experiences, but with the social capabilities that AltSpace presents. So on screen, you can see some of the experiences created. which are great. My team, we did really well on this. They went down and stripped it back to like the core concepts of their spaces, and then on top of that, we kind of built a whole system for how it would work, and how the uni could even implement it to a course.
So, to give a bit of context, the team, all the team that participated in this project, actually, you are there in this environment that you developed.
Yep. We're wandering around, exploring like you would in an environment with your friends, like a real exhibition.
Exactly. It's something that, how this is going. Do you think that this is going to change the way that we socialize, or we do exhibitions, or what is the future of this?
In the coming years, I feel there's a need for a mix. There should be a merge of reality and virtual reality. Now, these spaces, one of the ideas we mentioned as a possibility of creating these spaces was for the students to create them physically, so they could have a live exhibition, but also to use the technologies that we have, so 3D scanners, and to bring the live environment into virtual, with the freedom to explore. So you have these 3D scanners, and you can, if you're able to scan the spaces in high quality, you can render them into 3D softwares with all the textures and everything, and then bring them into something like AltSpace, which will allow you to have those social aspects. And I think having that merge makes it much more accessible for everyone, because some people can't make it to live events, or live events can't be held for months. They normally last a day or two. So it opens a lot more possibility in terms of growth as well for university to show future students and bring them in. So yeah, there's definitely a whole untouched and undiscovered area, which I'm sure we'll be moving into in the next few years.
And do you think that because of COVID and all the restrictions in place, the industry's got a lot more interested on looking into this virtual
reality? Definitely. It's changing all the time, and not just in terms of exhibitions, in terms of a lot of different markets and businesses are really seeing the value in virtual reality now and these creative technologies. For example, surgeons now shadowing and watching from a box like they normally do to learn is very long and time consuming, and it can obviously be dangerous if they're not fully educated that someone's lives in their hand. Now, bringing in something like virtual reality with real touch, like the feel of real touch, and I just feel it takes that element of risk away and allows people to really learn more rapidly. It's the same in pharmaceuticals, for example. Now, a few of my family members work in pharmaceuticals, so I know a fair bit about this. So in the sterile zones, they normally do shadowing, and this process is still very dangerous. They're the people most at risk to both the product and themselves. Now, it's a very time-consuming process where they just sit in a classroom and talk through it for months on end. But if they're able to recreate these environments using virtual reality, which a lot of the big pharmaceutical companies are now, they're able to speed up the process dramatically, very, very much so. These technologies are being noticed everywhere, and COVID has definitely sped it up due to the lack of social interactions.
Right. And now going back to 3 years ago when you were starting like this course, were you interested, or did you know anything about this, or was something that you just...
It was in the distance. I was always interested with it. I used to read about technologies, and whenever I got my hands on them, it was great, but they're just so expensive back then because it wasn't as accessible. It just looked in the distance, but uni's allowed us to get our hands on these technologies, and it's even push you in the right routes, and it even motivates you to research yourself and explore more and see what's out there. So say the Oculus, for example, is very accessible now. It's at a price where anyone can buy it. years ago, it wasn't really. As you know, as a first year student, you haven't got the most, income, but yeah, it's good to see it becoming more accessible, and it'll be good to see where that goes as well, for sure. And there is a piece of technology which uni led me to discover, which is NextMind, which is mind control. And if we're going to talk about where things are going in the future, I think that's we know about Elon Musk and monkeys, and he's using the Neuralink. He's obviously pushing it a different way, but there's already technologies out there which you can link with your headsets, and they actually read your brainwaves for you to select items on screen. Yeah. And televisions have been linked with it, so you can change the channel without even using a controller or anything. So
right. So now that you say, well, in a context that is constantly changing, as you said, with new technologies racing all the time, things that we cannot even imagine that's happening with artificial intelligence, with data. Yeah. Well, so how do you think that a designer like you should be preparing for the future?
It's, in my opinion, a lot of it is mindset. It's being willing to learn and being willing to adapt. And this is like a key thing with going into the workplace as well. So going into a new workplace, you've got to be willing to adapt to, the pace of the environment, and, even the people around you. You've got to suss people out, and you've got to understand, how they're learning and how they interact with people. Like, some people like to get their head down and work. Others like to, communicate and work in a team. But coming back to that, it's yeah, it's I'd say it is just your mentality. You've just got to be on top of your research, really, and you've got to show your passion. I think that's how a young designer should keep up with it. It's just adapting to your situations. I think
that's the key, right? The key is being embrace it, because if you need to be the kind of person that is waiting for change and to interact and to do things that are new to you, because otherwise you're left behind.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to this, to how me wanting to get a job. You should try and be ahead of the curve. At the end of the day, like, why wait for it to come to you? You should, be looking at it before it's even happening. You should be thinking, even conceiving, ways that you can use these mind technologies. Like, what's the best use for that? What can that benefit? All these little things. It's always good to think ahead. Definitely. And being willing to learn. That's the best bit. That's, you've got to enjoy learning.
And
that's
why
I'm
enjoy learning.
I enjoy technology. Yeah.
It's all about having fun at the end. I mean, if you're not
definitely, you've got to enjoy it. Yeah. As Oculus owners, we can both say we very much enjoy it, and we enjoy watching all these new things come out and these technologies evolve. It's great. Yeah. Definitely.
So I think that we can end with that phrase. It's like, you have to have fun, because if you're not having fun, this is not the right path for you, right?
Yeah, definitely, exactly. Right, you hit the nail on the head with a sledgehammer. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, great
nice
talk.
to have you, Will, and we are finishing your degree in.
Yeah, good luck with the podcast and everything.
In 1 week. So this will be for the future.
Yeah, I'm glad. I can't wait to look back. to Will in the future. Good luck, mate.
Exactly. Right, I'm going to start recording now.
Yeah. Cheers.